Waiting for that countdown. All right, there we go. Countdown is on. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, August 29th, 2020, 9:45 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and start my 25 for the cause today for mental health. I'll start it in a few minutes. I just wanted to give people time to get on here. Okay, and listen, no more music. I've listened to that. Woo, the music is brutal. I apologize. So no more music until I figure out what to do. I'll get it on the YouTube channel. I'll be able to do it there, but no more music. All right, what I'll do is do a couple of verses instead. All right, at about the minute mark, I'm going to just go ahead and get started for my Saturday message. How about the shirt, even though it's Saturday? Our man. All right, here we go. Today is Saturday, August 29th, 2020. This is day 15 of my 25-day mental health challenge presented to me by Chris Achille Love Peace. And so today, the topic I want to talk about is turning tragedy into triumph. Turning tragedy into triumph. I've had so many people share their personal stories with me over the last week that it's been inspiring. And one of the things I know, I'm caught up in this whole political thing going on in Sarasota County, but I don't want to lose focus of the power of inspiration, perseverance, hope, all these things that people have shared with me, how they've turned their tragedy into a triumph. So I want to make sure I spoke about that today. And then tomorrow, I'd like to look at two parents from Parkland who are turning their tragedy into triumph. And then, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be talking about that school board meeting again that's going to take place Tuesday night, September 1st at 6:30 p.m. All right, so here we go. Turning tragedy into triumph. And my goal here today is just to share some personal stories with you without using names of people who have uh, contacted me, reached out to me, and shown me support despite the tragedies that they have overcome or they're overcoming in their life. And I think that's pretty incredible. So I'm going to start with a verse today, which is a very good one and a very appropriate one. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1, verses 2 and 3. That's one of my favorite verses, and that's in my set of verses that I would read every day. And what's so funny, I always understood the facing trials part of it, but now today I understand the pure joy part of it. Because James says, consider it pure joy. How could you consider it pure joy when you're facing these trials? Well, what I found out is the pure joy comes from the feeling of support from God, your family, your friends, the community, and my place teachers as well. Okay, so that pure joy that I'm feeling, this is what the Lord's talking about. This is what James is talking about. I'm facing a trial unlike no other one in my life, and I'm feeling pure joy. And it's because of the support that I'm getting from everybody around me. So, once again, don't ever underestimate a text, a kind word, a message, a smile, whatever it may be, man. You don't know. Like that adds up. It works. So that part of it is awesome. Now, he says you're going to face trials of many kinds, but because you know that that's the testing of your faith produces perseverance. What a great word. Perseverance. Persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So when you show perseverance, you show a persistence in doing something despite the difficulty, despite the delay in achieving success. And I think this is so important here. It doesn't say having achieved success. It says achieving, the act or of action of trying to achieve not the end result of achievement. And I think this is one of the things we need to understand, that perseverance is that persistence in achieving success, the path, the action of, not the consequence of, not the end result of. That could still be going on, or it might not have been the end result you were looking for, like in my case. But the perseverance was going on despite the difficulty, going on despite the delay, the action of trying to achieve. Okay, so I love that first verse, because what it reminds me of is that you are only given what you can handle. And I think that's a pretty powerful testament, because think about some of the powerful things, powerful trials, powerful tragedies that people have had to go through in their life. And I'm going to share some of those general ones that people shared with me so we get an idea. Okay, now the second verse, again, I love it. Okay, so here we go. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. That's Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. But how about, there we go. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings. Okay. And that's another incredible thing. They want our trials to be pure joy, and now we're to glory in our suffering. And the reason we're being told that is because you will suffer during this lifetime. You will. We all do. We all suffer in different degrees, and we all suffer for different lengths of time. But one commonality we all have as human beings is we all suffer. And God knows that. And He says, take glory in that. Take glory in the support that you're going to get, the pure joy that it's going to bring you. Because otherwise, or other situations, it doesn't. One of the things I said about this, that I have gotten so much love and support. I attended my dad's funeral several years ago when he had passed away, and hundreds of people showed up to say all these things to his children about my father. I'm getting to hear these things when I'm alive, and that's pretty cool. And that, don't underestimate that power. Don't underestimate the suffering I'm going through, but the glory that people are heaping on me. It's pretty incredible. And then they tell you that suffering produces perseverance. Okay, there's that word again, perseverance, persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success, a delay in achieving success. And then my favorite word in here is hope, because hope does not put us to shame. I love that. Here's the definition of hope: a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Okay, that's pretty cool. When you have hope, you have a feeling of expectation. You're expecting something. You have a desire for a certain thing to happen. Now, here's what I'll tell you: do not ever feel ashamed of having hope, of having an expectation, or of having a desire for something good to happen to you. We should all have that same hope, that same expectation, and that same desire. That's why we should never feel shame for having hope. When you're in trials, you're suffering, and things don't look good. Hope is from God, because what it's telling us is it's an expectation, it's a desire, it's something we yearn for, something we hope for. Of course, we hope. Can't use a word to define a word. Okay, but that's what it is. Now, why is hope so important? And I love this, because hope keeps us moving forward. That expectation or desire keeps us moving forward. It gives us a positive vision. Hope generates determination and grit. It takes away that wishbone and puts the backbone there. Hope powers us through negativity, through the idea of we are going to suffer. Hope can power through this. And here's the best part: hope energizes me every day to get up and try harder. And so I'll never feel shame for having hope, because hope is powerful. It's powerful. All right, second part here about turning tragedy into triumph. The teacher in me, I have to have a lesson plan so I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so I want to share for you some of these personal examples that friends or acquaintances who have reached out to support me and they're facing, and then, or they have already faced these trials. Okay. But the bottom line is they went through these difficult times, they're going through them, and they still showed the compassion and took the time to reach out. And there's that responsibility as a community to each other. Okay, those people did that without me asking. Our goal is to get people to show up at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night at the landing, 6 p.m. to get there and show up. That's the expectation. That's the desire. That's the hope. Okay, so let me just talk about some of these trials, and these are the different topics. Okay, so here's what I say at the bottom. What topics can I share or talk about on future broadcast of 25 for the cause? What are some things related to your cause? What do you people want to know about your cause? How can I be your voice? I love doing this. I love being people's voice, the voice, because there's so many causes, so many different topics we could talk about. Okay, so here's some of the trials and tragedies that people have shared with me. First and foremost, losing a loved one. One of the greatest tragedies or trials you're ever going to go through in your life is losing a loved one. But then people open my eyes to the different ways on how you can lose a loved one. Okay. If you're grappling with the suicide of a loved one, if you're losing a child or family member to drugs and the stigma connected to that, that's a whole different type of trial. Not only did you lose a loved one, but our culture wants to put a stigma to it in the way that they did pass. And that's another burden upon itself that I would love people to share. And some people have talked about that, the stigma of losing a loved one to suicide, the stigma of losing a loved one to a drug overdose. So I think those are real things, real causes, things that we could be talking about. How about people facing down and overcoming cancer? 4 different people shared a story with me. That's incredible. Facing down and overcoming cancer. Other people losing their job, sharing that with me, and then they had to start a new career. They had to take on a second job. Okay, so that was huge. Enduring a divorce, going through that, how difficult that is. I had someone very close to me share to me how they had been falsely accused of a crime. And again, overcoming that. And then a family member of mine in Connecticut who recovered from COVID. So we have all these tragedies that people endure on a daily basis, but they're able to persevere. Why? Why did all these people persevere? Because they had hope. They had hope. They had that desire. They had that expectation. And that's what keeps them going. So I'm going to keep this one, I think, under 15 minutes today. Here's what I hope for. I hope that people will show up Tuesday night, September 1st at 6 p.m. at the landings in Sarasota County to voice, to speak up, to speak out. Use your voice. How about this for a suggestion? You can support a local restaurant and pick up takeout and eat it in your car while you're driving through the landings parking lot, beeping your horn. Pull into a parking spot. Have your dessert, have your takeout with your family and be in there beeping the horn and supporting. If you can go out there and hold signs, you can speak up. You can sign up to speak out at the school board meeting. So there's so many different ways for you to use your voice and get involved. So here's what somebody told me, and I thought this was great. And I said, oh, I'll put this in. They said, don't be stuck inside. Okay. If not now, then when? Because remember, courage is contagious. When one person makes a stand, others' spines are stiffened. So if not now, then when? And I think this is what this is going to come down to Tuesday night. We're going to look at parents and teachers, educators, staff in this community and see if you're willing to do something to show up so that another tragedy doesn't happen, so that somebody else doesn't have to deal with an adversity of, whatever it may be, because we understand the breakdowns that are happening in the Sarasota County Public Schools and they're not dealing with them. So finishing up. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to remind people of, this 25 for the cause that I love calling it, is because that's what Chris wanted me to do, 25 for the cause of mental health. Well, what I started understanding is it's not just about 25 push-ups. It can also be about 25 minutes of walking, jogging, biking, swimming, or any type of vigorous exercise. If you are unable to do any of those physical activities, then you could reach out to and contact a family member or a friend that you have not talked to in a while and engage them for 25 minutes in a conversation to spread some joy. So, again, this 25 for the cause isn't just about push ups, it's about getting a healthy lifestyle, both mentally and physically. And physically, there's suggestions, and if physically you're not able to, then mentally, you can talk to somebody, you can engage them, you can spread joy. So find that family member, find that friend. And listen, if the conversation doesn't work out how you planned, you only have to endure it for 25 minutes and then you tell them you got to go. So see how 25 for the cause can work? All right, so I'm going to pump out my 25 and then my 25 for mental health, and my last five today are for Coach Phil Hellmuth, the athletic director of Booker Nation here in Sarasota, Florida. Okay, Phil has been a friend of mine for 25 years. He is my example of perseverance, and he is my role model for dealing with adversity, for being persistent, because Phil had a situation where he was wrongly accused of something and he turned it into him being the athletic director of Booker High School and just turning around the sports program there and the attitude of everybody. So, Phil Hellmuth, man, my last five are for you. All right, I'm going to pump them out. You know I'm going to, so I don't think I want to keep people any longer. 16 minutes. I almost made it. All right, God bless. Have a happy Saturday. Love you all.